What's up guys, this is Damien with Schultz Properties, and today I have a different video for you. This is in regards to a lot of the young people in the world, or if you're older. There's a lot of things that I've learned these past few weeks since I've been away, and I've just been building business and just kind of developing myself a lot more within that kind of space. But this has been something on my mind for a bit, and I feel like a lot more people need to listen to this. To get started, within these past few weeks, I've been talking to a lot of people around my age in their 20s to as old as their 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, right? A lot of life lessons, a lot of things that I've learned from a bunch of people, and that lessons that I'm taking for myself and learning along the way. Some things that I do see a lot of people in my age range in their 20s is not understanding what direction they want to go in life, or they're still trying to figure things out. That's fine, it's understandable, but you got to move. This is the best time to start making mistakes, to start moving as fast as you can into developing yourself as a person, to yourself as a business owner, yourself as a family man, whatever it is. This is the time. And even if you're older, don't put that limiting belief on yourself thinking I'm not old enough, or thinking that I'm not young enough to learn all this stuff, to, do it all again and stuff like that. I already know everything, yada, 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 right? What I was told from one of my interactions from today, from one of the store owners, was be able to be a student. No matter what point in life you are, always keep on learning, always keep on developing, and that's how you get better. Just overall, no matter what it is. We all make mistakes. It's inevitable. There is no avoiding it. We're human, right? But you need to be able to learn from those mistakes. Learn from those things that you messed up on, whether if it's super bad, which obviously you should learn about that, or there's something that you feel that should be done better, right? So in my experience, going into my 20s, my mid-20s, and going further, is understanding what I've been doing throughout these past few years. And to kind of give you some backstory on myself, kind of getting a little bit transparent with myself, but I feel that this is something important that even you guys should know. Knowing that I've done all these things, from having a moving company, having clothing brands, doing mentorships and stuff like that, teaching people how to trade, teaching people how to make business, all these different things I've done, I've tried, I've made money in, and I've gotten better as a person to develop these skills and teach more people. And that's what I love doing. Making businesses, getting more knowledge about things that I'm interested in, and kind of sharing that to people, just like what I'm doing right now, sharing my knowledge. Going back to how this all started was back in 2019, 2020 timeframe, before COVID, all that stuff, before the illness, I should say, was when I started learning about investing. But going further into that was really, kind of figuring out life for myself. What I wanted to do, what things I wanted to really enjoy and spend more of my time of. But at the time I was really focusing on just staying in one job and this is the best thing ever. I love working. I love making money and stuff like that. I was making pretty good money as a 19-year-old at the time, working in aerospace, and really, just focusing on making money at the time, investing a little bit here and there. But that was the start of my journey. Coming out of high school, went into aerospace, manufacturing, learned there, and just started developing some skills there, and growing my resume from that company. But there was a turning point in my life to where things changed like a lot for me, like mentally, and it was like very difficult to really understand what was going on in the world. As you know, that end of 2019, 2020 time frame, a lot of people got laid off, and unfortunately I was one of those people. But it was honestly a blessing in disguise. The reason why I say this is because of where I'm at today. All the stuff I do, all the stuff and people I've met, the network I have has grown exponentially to where I did not expect myself to be in this position. Yes, I'm not a multi-millionaire. I'm, not making crazy money, but I've gotten to a position to where I'm comfortable, but I still want to keep on chasing for more, leveling up every single day, every single week, every single year, and trying to hold myself accountable. Anyways, going back into getting laid off, luckily for me at that time frame, I was really starting to think about business, been watching a lot of YouTube and stuff like that, learning about how to make business and all these different kinds of things, right? I'm pretty sure you guys are one of those that have looked into the past of like how to make money online kind of thing, how to build a business, how can I make cash fast, all these different kind of things, right? I was in that same position, and now looking back at it, I was like, this is crazy. Like everything that I've done, everything that I've learned and developed over time has just been so amazing, right? Like this was the path that I believe God was showing me, and I did not realize because I was, too secured in the space that I was at, and God took me into a different path, into the right path, and showing me the right direction of where I should be. Many times we will think that going into this direction is the right way, even though it pays well, even though it looks good and stuff like that. But in reality, your soul, your heart, you could really feel it if you were meant to be there, right? And I know a lot of us had this feeling before, or just have some uncertainty, and that's what I'm trying to point in this video is like, if you're uncertain, if you have no direction, or you're just not, certain of where to go in life or what to do, this is something that you should really, one, research into, and two, the most important thing is to start taking action now. Because it is a long-term investment. You should be starting now so that it could start growing day by day by day, and you start to really build something beautiful, right? Like what everyone says, Rome wasn't built in a day. So if you really think about that, on how long it actually takes to be to the point to where you're at, to be able to achieve your goals, focus on what the next step is. Don't focus too much far into the future. Over this past few years, about 5 years now or so, I've been coaching people. I've been teaching people online how to make business, even in person, and even for some of my friends too. And, the advice that I could give to you while you're still young, or no matter at what age you are, is you have to start now. Even if you don't know what you're doing, try it out, see if it works, try it out for a week, try it out for a month, and see what sticks, right? You know, a lot of people say, like, you know, don't be involved in everything, stay to one thing, and, you know, that's like the safe option kind of stuff, right? Like with a job, you know, there's security in a job, there's, you know, opportunities and, you know, ways that you could grow, which it is true to an extent, but this other point that I'm trying to make is to have some backup just in case, right? So I've had a few of my coworkers or friends of mine that I've shown them how to create a business for themselves, or how to reach out to different networks, or show them like what opportunities are there for them to build up to the point to where they want to be, and, you know, probably move into a different area or whatnot. So an example being one of my buddies, he's made a 3D printing business for, you know, making just cool car stuff by 3D printing them and selling them on Etsy. He's been making pretty good money doing that, and I'm happy that he's gotten into it. So I haven't talked to him in a while, but hey bro, if you're watching this video, let me know how things are going. I know it's been a while since we've talked and you're probably working, but let me know how things are. I would love to talk to you. But anyways, one of my other buddies moved out from the state and began to start his journey in real estate, because he knew that the area where he was at, where we're working before, was not the place where he wanted to be, right? He had all these different things going on for him, being an agent, you know, starting clothing brand, doing trading, just like me. But there's a point to where everything was kind of at a hold still, and, you know, he didn't know what direction or what path to really take. And luckily I was in that same company at the time. I didn't know him, but I introduced myself and really got to figure out what he wanted to do and kind of guided him in that right direction, and he does the same for me. And that's one of the guys that I could really call one of my brothers, because he's, you know, very genuine, he's fresh, he's authentic, and, you know, I could really take his word, you know, very to heart, because he's not gonna lie to me, right? So these are just a couple examples of some of the people that I've either helped out through just the knowledge that I've brought them and the things that I've done. And I like to kind of consider myself, you know, not really a follower, but in terms of things, it's more like a leader. I like to influence people rather than being influenced just because of my actions, the way I carry myself, and try to develop myself further on, right? I'm not saying I'm perfect, I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, but I'm just saying that you can change your environment any way you want to. You just have to be able to take action and really pull yourself up into the position where you want to be, not where other people are, and just be following everything that everyone does. That is how you have uncertainty, by hanging around the wrong types of people. So going back onto track of things, when I was, you know, laid off and stuff, I had, you know, rough times with just people close to me, you know, lost some friends here and there, unfortunately. And, you know, I got into like kind of like a different mindset of why I wanted to do this, why I wanted to achieve the things I wanted to do. And that really brought to light of all the things that I wanted or thought that I wanted, but really tried to analyze it better through just figuring out those things that I wanted, not what other people wanted. Because again, like the people you're around, the society that we're in, or the things that we watch on YouTube, Instagram, social media, whatever it is, you do get influence no matter who you are, right? There is some sort of influence in that way. So if you want to excel, you want to find where you want to be, figure out the things that you want, that you like, that you need to survive on just a base level. And then once you understand yourself more, start diving into different avenues of, you know, what you can create, what you can do to give value to others, and start building around that. That's how I built my businesses, through, you know, fashion, because I was interested in clothing. I was interested in the fashion industry here, you know, in Washington, and I got really involved with the people, with the culture around it, and, you know, getting to know and meet a lot of cool people, which was, you know, amazing, because I wouldn't be in the position if I did not go to those events. I did not work hard to put myself out there, you know, all these things. But that's just one of the avenues where, you know, I found something that I loved, that I was passionate about. It is like a hobby, and I decided to take into a business. I, you know, made some money here and there, but a lot of it, when going to shows, going to all these events, was learning from other people, learning to develop my business, learning to kind of reach out to people and find who, you know, could help me, because I honestly did not know what I was doing. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna start a business, see, you know, how this goes, and, you know, try it out, right? If it works, sweet. If it doesn't, you know, it is what it is. I've been kind of backed off from the fashion industry for a while, just because even though I love it, there is a lot of stuff to do in terms of, you know, making clothing, making designs, staying updated to styles and all that stuff, trying to, you know, find other ways to be sustainable, and all these different things, from manufacturing to either like finding companies to repurpose or rebrand the clothing and stuff like that. So, you know, I tried that for a while, and I still have the business too. But, you know, moving on to the next business was, you know, being a real estate agent. I've been a real estate agent for almost coming up on like 3 years or so, 4 years or so now. I already forgot. But I did that for a while, made, you know, a few $1,000s from commissions, and, you know, now just kind of working things out, trying to fine tune some things, and, you know, make some more sales and help people find their dream home. But the issue to that is not everyone is buying at this time, or just not sure where things are going in their life. So this is like something I want to do, to be able to help people get in the right direction, so that they could just live the life that they want, right? And, you know, that was my second business that I've done. The third business was the moving company, just here in my local city, but we've traveled all the way up, as far as like close to the border of Washington, close to Bellingham, to as far as Puyallup area, and just all around. We were doing like 20 plus moves within like our last 2 years of operating and stuff like that, and we've done pretty well for ourselves, made some good money. But I can say that it is a lot of hard work, and this just basically started from a group of friends of mine, where we basically just wanted to help out and, you know, make some extra cash to the side. So we ended up making this business, and, you know, having an LLC for it, and just start growing from like four people was the founders, the original group, to about 8. And, you know, I decided to close down that business just because it was a lot of work, it was a lot to manage, and if we wanted to get all the permitting, that was a whole another deal, and truck, and, you know, the warehouse, all that stuff, right? We wanted to do this right, and, kind of take it to the next level. Even though my ambitions and dreams was very high for the moving company, I still did not see that it was something that I could do long term, or that it would best fit kind of how I want to make money. And how I want to make money is basically work from anywhere, and make it at any time of the day, and I have control of the things that I want to do. So having that financial freedom, having that freedom to go anywhere, to make my own hours, and just have that is what I call freedom for me. And not having to be present all the time for just things, like I can make money just on my computer without having to interact with anyone. But that's kind of like how I kind of steered into a different direction and trying to focus more on different things. The other business or kind of hobby that I've been doing is just trading. Been making some good money here and there. I trade like Forex. I mean, you'll hear about this all around if you do search it up, but I do make money doing this every now and then, and it's been paying off pretty well. After like 4 years or so learning how, I've been able to really develop my skills enough to where I have an edge in the market to be able to basically kind of predict and have a high probability of assuming or figuring out where the market's gonna go, up or down. Now, I've been teaching people and been showing people how to really read those markets. So yeah, I've done quite a bit of stuff already from just those 4 things. And I also do coaching now, so that's another thing that I have going on my plate. So just with all those things in mind, everything that I've done, everything that I've learned was from the very beginning of understanding who am I and what do I want to become, who do I want to become, and how can I get there. As a coach for business, for kind of like life things here and there, I teach people these things. Sometimes it's some of my closest friends, sometimes it's even my coworkers that are even older than me, and wanting to create something for themselves because they've seen what I could do. They know what I'm capable of, and I'm happy to provide and help them out with that, because honestly, like, what it comes down to is what can I really provide and help people with. That's something that I really value and that I care about and that I'm passionate about doing. And it's very lonely if you go down this road, but if you're going at it with other people that are like-minded, that want to grow and excel and hit the bar every single time higher and higher and higher, then it feels different because you're in a different mindset, you're in a different game. And kind of to put it in perspective, like imagine playing GTA. You're making as much money as you can to buy the cool cars, to buy the yachts, to buy all these different things, right? But I like to gamify things and kind of put it in that real world perspective. Like, all right, what can I do to make this money? What can I do to achieve this dream that I want? And how am I gonna get there, right? Finding different vehicles, finding ways to make money, and all these things through just trying things out, through just doing and taking action. Not too much planning, because honestly, if you're going to make a business, you're not gonna know 100% if this is gonna work. So what I recommend and what a lot of people recommend doing is just putting it out there, starting it already. Make the website, make the Instagram, the Facebook, the YouTube, try it out, put it out there. Put whatever content that your business is around out there so people know about it. That's the very first things, because you need people to know about who you are, what you're selling, what your services are. And the next thing is, once you got people interested or have people that are interested in buying whatever you're selling or whatnot, then you could start scaling up, right? You could start focusing on those clients, those customers, and refining your business a little bit more. A lot of people think that you start the business in the planning phase, but to some extent that is true. But if you just start, you make mistakes to where you're not spending a lot of money and you're just refining little things here and there, then you're good, right? Just try out things as you move forward into your business and see what sticks, see what happens, see what people like, what they don't like, and take that into a different level. So I don't want to edit this video. I'm gonna keep it raw. As you can already tell, a bunch of my mistakes and stuff like that. This is just what it is, right? I'm showing you guys the real raw me of how I just interact with you guys, how I just think along the way. And you know, I'll still stutter, I'll still make mistakes, but it is what it is, right? Again, I'm not perfect, but make those mistakes sooner in your business so you don't start making those more expensive mistakes later on. And again, if you really want to get to a point in your life to where you have more control, you have more access to the people that you know, growing your network by starting to help your family a little bit more, by making more money and also helping others, start now. If you're trying to find a purpose, the purpose is within the business, because a purpose is basically you providing to someone else. We have to take this kind of pride, this ego out of yourself, thinking that it's just all us. How can I make money? How can I, do all these things for myself, right? But in actuality, we have to turn it on a different perspective of like, how can I provide to someone? How can I help them? How can I do this thing for you or whatnot? And honestly, that's how a lot of businesses are, right? There is a need somewhere, there's an issue, there's a problem that you could all solve, but you need to figure out what that is, what the product, the service, the thing that you're going to do that people really need, that they will pay for, right? So homework for you guys today. If you really want to get to this point in your life to where you're excelling, you're growing, you know what you want to do, you have to comment down below, challenge, and I will reach out to you personally and stay in touch, because honestly, I want to see how you're doing and I want to see how I can help you excel. Because truly, this whole thing, from starting business to making money to growing and developing yourself, is a challenge. So if you want to get started, if you want to start changing your life for the better, and you don't want to be in a position to where you're stuck in a place where you're working just a 9-to-5 for 20 years and you still don't have enough money and you're worried about all these things in the world, let's talk. Let's have a conversation of what we can do together so we could get you started, right? The best time to start is now. It's just like investing in stocks, for example, right? On a long-term base, right? You're gonna see a lot more gains versus if you're looking at a short-term basis. So if you invest $100 a day and expect next week to get $1,000, you're not gonna make that, by investing it in the stock market. You're probably gonna get maybe like a few cents or something, right? But if you keep that $100 in there invested for 20 years or so, you're growing, you're developing, you're compounding that over a long periods of time. So if you understand this concept and you again want to be in the position to where you have more control, where you have all these options, to where the job is not the only way, that you have a purpose rather than just working for someone else, and you are providing more for your family and friends and the people around you, I'm serious. Let me know. Comment challenge down below. We'll stay in touch. We'll have meetings, and we'll stay connected on how things are going, because I truly want you to succeed. I truly want to see you excel and grow and achieve everything that you wanted in life, because honestly, we have talent all over the place, but we don't know how to either monetize that, or we don't know how to help people or reach out to people, right? Don't limit yourself on the things that you could do. The capabilities of your talents, your actions and stuff like that is limitless. The things that you could do in your lifetime could happen so fast. You would think that it's been years and years of just learning, but honestly, like, it it takes just a few minutes just per day to learn something new, to start developing, to start doing something, and you will then start to see results, but over a certain time. Don't think that those results are going to come next week, or the next day, or the next few hours, for crying out loud. Like, be realistic. If you're going to dive into this path of entrepreneurship, or even, it doesn't have to be entrepreneurship, just like getting to the goals that you want to do or want to achieve in your life, make the steps required for you to get up into that position. Little steps, not big steps, not where you're hopping across the pond or anything like that. Just little steps, like what can you do right now that will help you get the next leg forward, right? We don't want to go back, we want to go forward. So here's some little tidbits of what you can do before I end this whole video off. It's been almost 30 minutes of me talking and whatnot, but if you really want to get something started and you just want to do the research for yourself, and you feel like you don't need my help at this moment, we have the tools, the resources right in front of us. You're using it right now. Your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever it is, that electronic thing that looks like a brick is a tool for you to use. Don't just use it to just consume content, to just brain rot and scroll the whole time. Use that to your advantage. Use that as a tool to educate, to grow yourself, to develop your mental state. Don't be stuck in the position to where you are now, because whatever you are doing now is what is keeping you from excelling. You need to change. You need to start learning more. You need to start eating better. You need to start exercising. You need to start doing all these things. And I don't mean, you have to be like a crazy Olympic athlete to be, doing all this stuff. But I'm just saying, start doing things. If you want to get healthy, if you want to get in a good shape, start working out, start doing some activities to where you're moving more and, eating less or whatnot. Start doing something so that you're closer to your goals every single day. So anyways, before we start going further and further into this video, again, if you really want to get started, if you really want to make changes, comment down below, challenge, and let's connect, let's stay in touch, and let's get things started. No matter at what point you see this video at, I just want you to start. Not for the sake of me, it's for the sake of you, and all I ask for is for you to start to take action today, because the thing you do today will impact tomorrow. And there's this saying that comes in, the military from Navy SEALs is the only easy day is yesterday. And that's a true statement. As you go through each day, the days in the past have become easier because of just, you've gotten past that day already. You've gotten to what you were doing from when you woke up to the end of the day. You're moving, you're breathing, you're surviving, you're doing all these things, and the challenge is not becoming a challenge anymore. It's becoming normal. It's becoming part of your life. And really think about that, right? Make those steps count towards your goal, and when you're ready to start running, you'll know. So again, for the final and last time, if you want to excel, you want to get better, you want to be in a position that you want to be, no matter if you're single, you are married, you have family, you have kids, you have all these different things in front of you, I can guarantee that we could find a way around it to where we can get you in the position where you want to be, working out something, right? We don't know what we don't know. So again, comment down below, challenge, and let's get this thing started. All right, take care, guys. God bless, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.